Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Bald Brad Show, baby. And do we have a jam-packed show for y'all today? We got Donald Trump's White House press secretary bringing down the house yesterday. If you weren't with us during our live stream last night, I streamed the White House press briefing. And damn, there's a lot of energy in the room, mostly from my side. And, well, if you want to see what I rated her and how I gave my critiques, go check out last night's live stream because it was a good one. And I had a blast doing it, folks. We also have a lot of immigration updates. We just have a lot of updates in general. I believe today is Kash Patel's hearing, briefing. I don't know what you would call it, but we got to make sure that guy gets in because I want everything exposed. And speaking of exposure, Donald Trump's White House press secretary exposed the Biden administration quite a bit because the media didn't want to do it. So she took it upon herself to do it for all of us. Greatly appreciate all the patriots in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. It does help support the show. And without further ado, we're going to jump right into the highlights here because Donald Trump's White House press secretary just completely laid down the law yesterday. And it is a big difference, black and white, between Joe Biden's White House press secretaries and Donald Trump's White House press secretaries. It is night and day, let me tell you, and a little overwhelming for me. I got to admit, a little overwhelming. Well, what she did was she opened up the White House press briefing, and trust me, I got a lot of clips today. And she not just signified that we're entering a golden age, but she did also signify that they're going to bring in new media. And what she meant by that was they're going to bring in other people that aren't these name brand legacy medias, like the CNNs, the MSNBCs. No, they open it up to everybody. Podcasters, TikTokers, basically people like me. And all of you know, we cover the White House press briefings. So you're damn right I put my name in there. My name is in the hat, folks, and I'm asking the reporters that we know in the room to put in a good word for me. And as I mentioned, because I get this question a lot, Brad, are you going to try to be there? Yes, I am. If that does happen, you guys will be first to know. And we're going to do a town hall, and we're going to try to figure out what question we would want to ask if we get in that room. I asked the reporters already if they could put in a good word for me. Let's hope so. Well, here is the golden age of America, baby, coming out. And the place is packed. The house is full. Not an exaggeration. They're not allowed to fit any more people in here. And it goes all the way to the back door. Nuts.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Look what she's wearing, too.
Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees: Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. It is imperative that the Senate continues to confirm the remainder of the president's well-qualified nominees as quickly as possible. As you have seen during the past week, President Trump is hard at work fulfilling the promises that he made to the American people on the campaign trail. Since taking the oath of office, President Trump has taken more than 300 executive actions, secured nearly $1 trillion in U.S. investments, deported illegal alien rapists, gang members, and suspected terrorists from our homeland, and restored common sense to the federal government.
Basically, he's done more in 100 hours than Joe's done in 100 days. I posted a clip, and we all saw this together, where there is an OAN reporter at the White House. And when you go inside the White House, standing outside the Oval Office is usually a Marine. And that Marine will signify if the president is in the Oval or if he's working. And it was stated that it was extremely rare to see that Marine standing outside of the Oval Office during the Biden administration. Extremely rare. Where Donald Trump's Marine is always out there. The dude's standing at attention basically for hours. Because Donald Trump is working on behalf of the American people. And She sent a clear message. The White House press secretary gave a loud and clear message to the entire world.
I want to take a moment to go through some of these extraordinary actions. On day one, President Trump declared a national emergency at our southern border to end the 4-year-long invasion of illegal aliens under the previous administration. Additionally, President Trump signed an executive order to end catch and release and finish construction of his effective border wall.
It's being built now.
By using every lever of his federal power, President Trump has sent a loud and clear message to the entire world. America will no longer tolerate illegal immigration, and this president expects that every nation on this planet will cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens.
I mean, look, it doesn't get more clear. She's not, by the way, she has a few memos that she's reading from. She has a script. She doesn't have a binder. If you notice when she walked in that prior clip, and I will go back for you because maybe you missed it. When she entered the briefing, does anybody see a binder there? And no, you don't. That's her memo or / her speech she's reading from. And these are sources. Bro, you got to go after this podcast. I'm telling you, you'll have the time of your life if you just go watch what we did last night. She brought out the receipts in real time. Just this lady was talking about some memo. She's like, I got it right here, sucker. It was bonkers last night. Man, I wish a lot of you could have joined, but I know it was a little bit last minute, but it was good nonetheless. Now, they are taking swift and secure action to take care of our border. Now, what is wild here is the Democrats are still fighting Donald Trump on keeping these criminals in their cities. Somebody, for the love of baby Jesus, get a Democrat in here that could speak on behalf of this insanity. She's going to show some pictures and just the type of people they're apprehending and deporting.
January 23rd, ICE New York arrested a Turkish national for entry without inspection who is a known or suspected terrorist. On January 23rd, ICE San Francisco arrested a citizen of Mexico unlawfully present in the United States who has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child aged 14 years or younger. ICE St. Paul has arrested a citizen of Honduras who was convicted of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. ICE Buffalo arrested a citizen of Ecuador who has been convicted of rape. ICE Boston arrested a citizen of the Dominican Republic who has a criminal conviction for 2nd-degree murder. This criminal was convicted of murder for beating his pregnant wife to death in front of her 5-year-old son. And ICE St. Paul also arrested a citizen of Mexico who was convicted of possessing pornographic material of a minor on a work computer. These are the heinous individuals that this administration is removing from American communities every single day, and to the brave state and local law enforcement officers, CBP, and ICE agents who are helping in the facilitation of this deportation operation, President Trump has your back, and he is grateful for your hard work.
Folks, hello, Democrats, convicted of rape, convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child, suspected terrorist. You have to understand that the media is spinning this whole thing to make it seem like Donald Trump is just going into the school systems, pulling out kindergartners, putting them in handcuffs, and deporting them on planes. That's how they're spinning this thing. They're tearing away, they're taking daddy. Now, sometimes these people, about 50% rate right now, are just illegal aliens. The other 50% are terrorists, murderers, drug traffickers, sex offenders, all these other things. She held her ground yesterday. Oh, she held her ground big time. I want to get to a few more highlights here, folks. Before we get there, can you hit that like button for me? It really does help. If it didn't, I wouldn't waste your time. I thank everybody who always supports the show. It is really greatly appreciated. Well, she starts taking questions from the press, And this first one, she acknowledges that we need to have peace through strength, and that is back, baby. And Trump's not going to tolerate the shenanigans that basically was happening under the Biden administration with illegal immigration.
Absolutely. I'll echo the answer that the president gave on Air Force One last night when he was asked a very similar question by one of your colleagues in the media. This signifies peace through strength is back. And this president will not tolerate illegal immigration into America's interior. And he expects every nation on this planet, again, to cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens who illegally entered into our country and broke America's laws. Won't be tolerated. And as you saw, the Colombian government quickly folded and agreed to all of President Trump's demands. Flights are underway once again.
Damn, she's good. I mean, it doesn't get more clear. It doesn't. And it's a refreshing, it's as if you hadn't had water in a week and finally somebody just gives you the purest water you've ever drank. That's Karoline right there. She did a phenomenal job. A little bit of a hiccup here or there. Then we called that out last night. No big deal. We're just trying to make it better for her because she has a lot of work to do. Well, there's more stuff that's coming out here. And there was kind of pushback here, which I thought was weird, between a reporter and Karoline about the illegal aliens that are being arrested. It's a very odd exchange, and it just kind of shows you a little bit how dumb the press is sometimes.
500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
You may have kind of one of the worst first. They all have a criminal record.
And welcome to the briefing.
If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are criminal. Yes.
Damn! Karoline! Here's that reporter! Here's Karoline! They don't get it. How many of them have a criminal record? All of them! Well, how many of them are criminals? Hello? Hello, McFly? All of them. Is any of this difficult? Any of it's difficult? It's not. But for a lot of the progressive left, it is. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Remarkable job by Karoline. We're not done yet. She took questions from other reporters like Peter, and this is a good segue into what we just heard there from that one reporter, because he's mentioning that not everybody's really like a criminal, like a violent criminal illegal alien that's being deported.
NBC News has learned that ICE arrested 1,179 undocumented immigrants on Sunday, but nearly half of them, 566 of the migrants, appear to have no prior criminal record besides entering the country illegally. Is the president still focused exclusively, which is a civil crime, it's not criminal?
It's a federal crime.
So I'm asking, though, he said he was going to focus on those violent offenders first. So is violent offenders no longer the predicate for these people to be deported?
The president has said countless times on the campaign trail, I've been with him at the rallies, I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore, you are subject to deportation.
I apologize for interrupting. So to be clear, it's not violent criminals do not receive precedence in terms of the deportations taking place.
The president has also said two things can be true at the same time. We want to deport illegal criminals, illegal immigrants from this country,
right,
but the president has said that, of course, the illegal criminal drug dealers, the rapists, the murderers, the individuals who have committed heinous acts on the interior of our country and who have terrorized law-abiding American citizens, absolutely, those should be the priority of ICE, but that doesn't mean that the other illegal criminals who entered our nation's borders are off the table.
I love this. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Pat, for joining and becoming a member for 8 months. Well, you've already been a member for quite some time, but thank you for extending that for 8 months. Well, I don't know if it's extended for 8 months, you're joining for 8 months, but you've been around for a while. Thank you, Pat. Greatly appreciate it, brother. Always here, always supporting the show. Love that. Which I guess is a highlight here. If you want to become a member, it is only 99 cents over at YouTube. We have other options, $4.99, $9.99. If you want to make your own option, you can do that at the website, TheBaldBrad.com. Donation tab is right at the top. It does help support the show, folks, because we're not getting much help from YouTube. Let me tell you, basically almost zero. And if you want to get an idea of how bad YouTube is shadow banning my channel, we have almost 70,000 subscribers with over 2,000 videos. We're at the point where we're getting like 5 views an hour. YouTube, how is that even possible with 2,000 videos that you could just show to anybody? 5 views an hour, really? And every single subscriber is legit. I've never bought a like. I've never bought a comment. I've never bought a subscriber. I've never done any of that. Everything's legit, grassroots. Somebody explain that one to me. And by the way, I teach statistics. Doesn't make sense. Well, we have other people coming in here, and I want to find the portion where she talks about spending $50 million on condoms. So you might be thinking, what are you talking about, Brad? Like what? Yeah, I fell over in my chair yesterday when I found out that the Biden administration, it's a little fuzzy and blurry, was spending I'm gonna let her do it.
Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is for. Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went.
That's insane. That's Democrats for you, man. Let's pay for condoms to go to Gaza. $50 million. And people wonder why I hound Democrats. People wonder why. Granted, if there was a Republican involved in this whole thing, I would be on there, you know what, too. Frustrating. Extremely, extremely frustrating. Well, like I said, folks, she knocked it out of the park. There were some hiccups here or there, but if you want my full analysis and a breakdown of what I saw last night, and the pointers I would give her, the things I would do different, basically going over the play-by-play, check out that live stream from yesterday. It's already uploaded, and I guarantee you, you're going to have a good time because we all, whoever was in here last night, we had a blast together. Now, I want you to meet a couple of the people that are being apprehended in these raids. There's these just fine gentlemen. Yeah, no, they're people that are going to make America great again. We're told so by the legacy media and just the mainstream media. So Immigration and Customs Enforcement caught numerous criminal illegal aliens in their Sunday raids, a rogues gallery that includes cartel members, drug, weapon traffickers, and a man charged with possession of child pornography. Yeah. These are the people. I know I keep saying it, folks. Gavin Newsom, get the guy up in Chicago, Johnson. These are the people that they want to allow to be around your children. Yeah, they don't want these people deported whatsoever. So if one of these men had a kid at a school and you showed up because the guy was at the school to deport him and arrest him because he raped somebody or he murdered somebody, they are getting their panties all in a bunch. How do I know that? Folks, I'm in the education system. I see the emails from the school systems that are being sent out. Systems, multiple schools, districts. They are fearful that ICE is going to show up and arrest a murderer and child rapist for being a child rapist and a murderer who's around your children. Hello? Fucking like what? Yes. Why in the chat for you would want this person around your children, or a no in chat that you don't want this person around your children? Let me know. Because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm really far off the reservation. But I know for me, it's an easy no. I don't want these people around my children. I don't have any, but I wouldn't want them around anybody. I wouldn't even want them around you guys. What? Unbelievable. So that's what's going on there. ICE Omaha immigration enforcement agents in Oklahoma captured an unnamed member of this is the gang, who had previously spent 7 years in Venezuelan prison for robbery, resisting arrest, possession of a firearm, and unlawfully discharging a firearm. Probably during the robbery. Oh, that's good. That's great. No, hey, we need the workers. That's what I'm being told. I'm being told by the reporters. I'm being told by the Democrat politicians. No, we need them here. Here's another one from Houston. Agents captured an illegal alien from El Salvador who is a member of the MS-13 cartel. That must be is that a code name for a business this guy's running and making America flourish? He's probably hiring a ton of people. Yeah, no, you probably see him at your local liquor store. No, he's a violent gang member. I'm telling you, Newsom wants these people here. Your mayors want these people here. If it's a Democrat mayor, they want them around your children. The man has an extensive criminal background in his home country. Oh, go figure. Who would have thought? Where he was found to have engaged in acts of terrorism. Yeah. Aggravated armed robbery, involvement in an illegal group or groups, and they also caught a Mexican national arrested for 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and possession of a controlled substance. These are all people Joey allowed in. Now these people are going to make America great again, aren't they? Here's another one from St. Paul. Immigration enforcement agents in Minnesota caught Mexican national who was convicted of possessing pornographic material of a minor. Just really great people. No, they were all vetted. Yeah, all vetted. We were told by Margaret Brennan in the interview with JD Vance. Oh, well, no, JD, they're all vetted. Terrorists. So let me get this straight. If Joe Biden actually vetted all these people, which we know is BS, by the way, he just knowingly allowed terrorists to come in the country because, by the way, that's grounds for treason. Joey didn't pardon himself, so let's get him up there. And not just him. I want everybody that was a part of this whole thing under the Biden administration. I want DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on there as well. Tried for treason. I'm dead. I'm dead as a heart. I'm as serious as a heart attack, folks. When I say tried for treason, I mean that. When you allow an enemy to cross into your borders and you harbor them, read the condition. That is treasonous grounds, folks. That is big league. And I've been asking for it for years. You're putting the American people at risk. And there are thousands of terrorists right now. And Donald Trump's doing the best he can with what he's got to get these people out. So you also have Karoline coming out and just saying, hey, you know what? If you got an issue with the way we're doing things here and you don't want to report the correct way on illegal immigration, if you don't want to do your job as reporters, we're going to call you out. And they all know it too. And what's nice is they were smart about this. A lot of these people in the room, I'd say half of them are probably progressive lefty reporters, activist reporters. The other half are from like Breitbart's over here now. You have the Daily Wire in the room, obviously Fox News. You have Real Clear Politics back here with Philip Wegman. You got Ed over here with Fox Business. So you have a good mixture now. And it's not just going to be a room full of freaking Dems and these activists who want to push a narrative. You're going to have other people that call them out. Really good press briefing and a little bit of a mixture of everything, which was nice.
I commit to telling the truth from this podium every single day. I commit to speaking on behalf of the President of the United States. That is my job. And I will say it's very easy to speak truth from this podium when you have a president who is implementing policies that are wildly popular with the American people. And that's exactly what this administration is doing. It's correcting the lies and the wrongs of the past 4 years, many of the lies that have been told to your faces in this very briefing room.
Yep.
I will not do that. But since you brought up Truth Seek, I would like to point out, while I vowed to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to.
Yeah, baby. I expect everybody in this room to do the same. And I love that she said, look, I'm showing up. I'm not like a weakling, like we saw from Karine Jean-Pierre. I'm going to call you out just like my predecessor, Kayleigh McEnany, did. And then Bald Brad is going to come on here and smack you around a little bit more. Oh, dude, it's going to be a solid 4 years, man. Look, you might have thought the press briefings are going to be lame because, oh, she's going to come out and set things straight. Look, she did. But you got to understand, these people are so stupid in that room. Not everybody, of course. Some of these people are so stupid in this room, they're going to try to battle her, right? Because they want the spotlight. Like Kristen, what's her, not Kristen Welker, Caitlin Collins of CNN is going to try to take the spotlight. She's basically a new Jim Acosta. There's going to be a lot of content. We're going to be covering almost every press briefing. She was asked by our boy, Philip Wegman, how often will you be having these press briefings? And she didn't give a clear answer. The answer she gave was, well, you guys have basically a ton of access to Donald Trump. The guy talks to you throughout the day, which Joey never did. And so we'll just kind of have him when we need him. The best source is the primary source, and that's the president. Why does she need to stand up there on the stage and speak on behalf of the president and try to sometimes guess what he's thinking and doing and do all these other things that might have her get in trouble in some way, shape, or form, when you can just go talk to the guy yourself? And that's the best thing to do. Allow the press to talk to the president. And as I said in yesterday's live stream last evening, when we covered the White House press briefing, yeah, I'm going to continue to plug it because YouTube shadow banned us, is it's more ammo for her, because the more you can get that guy to talk, meaning Mr. 47, the president, then the more ammo you have that when you are asked a question about something the dude's already talked about, you can reference it. And that's what she was doing last night, going, oh, yeah, he talked about that on Air Force One during the gaggle. Oh, he actually talked about that in his first week of office. Oh, he mentioned this through an executive order. That's what she was doing yesterday. And boy, oh boy, man, she just A+. Probably the best you could do for your first White House press briefing. And I want to be clear here. I'm not trying to kiss her ass. I'm just giving you my honest take. If she would have bleeped the bed, I would have called it out. And if you do watch yesterday's live stream, I do call her out on a few things. There were some of us in here last night, and you guys know I did. I said that wasn't good. I wanted her to answer that. I'll give you a primary example. She was given a question, and it might have been from Jackie Heinrich. I can't really remember who it was from. And she said, oh, well, I mentioned that just the other day, or I mentioned that in the gaggle. Go review that. And I called her out on that, because I called Karine out on that as well, and her predecessor, Jen Psaki, where I said, well, you could just answer that now. So I hope she fixes that. I don't want none of that. I hate that. It's a pet peeve going, oh, well, we answered that already before on another day. I don't give a crap. You have the American people looking at you right now, and not everybody is siphoning through the news and watching what somebody says 24/7. So the question's being proposed for you to have an opportunity to answer it now in front of the American public. Even if you are repeating yourself, give a little bit of a statement going, I did cover that yesterday, but I would love to cover it again for you. What I stated was blah, 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 blah. Just really quick, 30 seconds, nothing terrible. So I hope she cleans that up, because it really isn't a good look, because it looks like you're trying to hide something and you're making somebody go dig for the thing that you're trying to hide. It's really, really something that needs to be corrected. And I hope somebody from the White House does acknowledge that and sees that. I did apply to be there, Scott. So a lot of people are still just joining the live stream. I did apply to be in the White House press briefing room. Everybody knows it's our bread and butter. We are one of the channels that has been covering it from the beginning and kind of made it a spectacle, a drama, I would say. And so much so that we know people in that room, even if we're a small channel like this. So I'm trying to have a few of the reporters in there put in a good word for me to see if we can get out there. And as I mentioned, if we do, you guys will be first to know. And we'll have to come together, maybe almost as an emergency town hall. And I want to see what you guys want me to ask. And the reason why I say that, before we jump into our next segment here, is because I'm an advocate of, if people are going to be in that room, they should be asking questions on behalf of the American people. And what I found is they ask questions on behalf of their narrative. I could easily come up with a question. That's not a hard part for me. I could walk in there and freaking make some entertainment. But if the room is supposed to be about asking questions that the American people want answers to, then I need to reach out to the American people. And who's that? It's my viewers. It's the patriots in the chat. And I want to know what you guys want me to ask, rather than me being selfish and asking what I want to ask. So that's what we're going to end up doing if we can get inside that room. So we'll see. We got 4 years. So we'll see if we get in there in 4 years. Now, I do plan on making a trip to DC in the next 4 years. I will say that. Now, I'm not going to say anything more, but I do plan on making a trip to that White House in the next 4 years. Let me tell you. All righty. Well, the federal judges are coming out and already making Trump's life harder for no damn reason, by the way. A federal judge blocks Trump's spending freeze amid a foreign aid woke programs. So Trump's trying to cut the fat. He's trying to cut the stuff that's obvious. It is obvious. Are they going to come out and start saying he can't cut spending on the $50 million for condoms going to Gaza? I understand there's some people that just joined us as I was saying that statement. It came out through the White House press briefing, and nobody batted an eye about it, which was the most mind-blowing thing to me. When Karoline said, it came out that we were about to spend $50 million on condoms to Gaza, which I don't think was really $50 million for condoms. I think that was just part of a embezzlement scheme. I think it was just trying to flow money, a laundering scheme through different places. I don't think it was really for condoms, by the way. But she called it out. Nobody batted an eye about it. Nobody raised their hand. I would have been like in the back. Dude, I guys, I shit you not. I'm being serious. I would have been like, what the fuck? Did you just say that we were about to spend $50 million on condoms? I wasn't sure if I heard you right. Can you address that? Just people moved on. Like it was a normal thing. Like, oh yeah. Couldn't believe it. Maybe I was living under a rock and that was just mainstream news on another day and I just kind of missed it. Well, here's another case where Trump issued a 2-page memo and it talked about freezing federal spending aimed at cutting off funding used to advance Marxist equity, transgenderism, and Green New Deal social engineering policies. Guys, this is common sense. This is as common sense as it gets. Great. Awesome. Well, not from a federal judge. So the judge on Tuesday paused the freeze scheduled to take effect at 5 p.m. yesterday. The judge granted a request to stay Trump's spending freeze as part of a lawsuit. So here we go. Now we got to go to court for this stuff. The obvious. Trump instituted a freeze to give his administration time to identify and review all federal financial assistance programs and supporting activities consistent with the president's policies and requirements. Meaning, is it consistent with the values and the liberties, the freedoms of American citizens? And should we be spending $50 million on condoms? How about that? I would like that to be reviewed. I think everybody else in the chat would love to review that, wouldn't you? To just take a breather and go, what are we spending money on? Why are we 50? You guys, I understand I'm repeating myself. I'm still 12 hours later, mind blown that this stuff's happening. Peggy, thank you so much. $20, Peggy. Geez, coming out hot. Peggy with $20 says, Brad, you need a red cap if you go. Make it a good one. Look nice with your beard. Oh, thank you, Peggy. That's very kind of you. They wouldn't let me in there with a red hat. Should I ask my question in a Trump voice? So, Karoline, beautiful name, by the way, beautiful name. You know, there's a lot of legacy media in here that are just absolute garbage. Hey, Pat, I'm not a cheap ass. I am, though. He wouldn't wear a new hat. If you notice, this hat is so old. I've had it since day one that I keep adjusting it because it doesn't fit my head anymore. Anyways, they're doing the freeze on the money. So Americans need help. And you need somebody in office that has their head on straight. And it's not just in the executive branch. That's all fine and dandy to me that we got President Trump in, and he has a great team on the executive side of things that has their head on straight. But we need this in Congress. Congress is the one that's been pushing all this spending because they have the keys to the purse. And if their heads aren't on straight, well, we're just going to keep wasting money. People need this. $50 million could have went to the people in North Carolina. I got no qualms with that. You know, an act of God came down and washed your house away. Let's rebuild it. I get it. Stuff happens. So I just want Americans to be protected with the deportations of criminals. And I get that things happen and we need that money to support our fellow countrymen and women in a time of need. But when you're coming from an administration and honestly kind of a culture now, and I think she was right using that term culture, of just spending without thinking, well, we roll into problems. And what is one of those problems? Not taking care of Americans. And the other one is $36 trillion in debt. At some point, we got to start acknowledging this thing, or else we're going to leave future generations with a lot of baggage. And we already are. We already are. It's terrible. It is really terrible and frightening at the same time. Very, very frightening. Let's get into a little bit of funny news here, I guess. It is side tangent, and then we'll get back into the seriousness of things with more video clips. There was a lady here who is morbidly obese, and well, she sues Lyft after being denied service due to her size. I kid you not, this is a real thing, but before we get there, let's go ahead and get to a little bit of positive news, and that's with one of our sponsors. And I said positive for a reason, because we've given them a shout out before. If you have a dog, we've all been there. Our pup goes from full on energy to just down in the dumps, sick and miserable in an instant, and at the worst of times usually. Then we're calling the vets in the middle of the night. We're freaking out, or even on the weekends, trying to find a clinic that would just take you in. And well, it's a terrible way to manage your dog's health, and not to mention your stress levels. You're already freaking out about trying to pay your bills, and now the pup, the family member, is sick. You got to take care of them. And it also has an impact on your monthly budget. So that's why people are getting the pet emergency kit called Positive, P-A-W, Positive. It contains critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog's life, which is huge. Their kits contain critical medications like active charcoal, septic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. Head over to positive.com and use code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kits. Look, you might not think you need it now, but in an emergency, you're going to be glad you had it. And a lot of Americans aren't prepared for a disaster. This could be a disaster regarding your pet. So head over there and at least get it. Make sure you have that safety net for yourself. Well, speaking of a net that wouldn't do anything for this individual, you got a morbidly obese rapper suing Lyft. Again, suing Lyft because she was overweight. This is a real thing. I haven't read it. I haven't touched it. So we're going to see if we can get through it. You know how I am with this stuff. Detroit-based rap performer Dake, what a name, is suing Lyft over a driver refusing her service because of her weight. What do you do when you can't get in the car? What, are they supposed to put you on the hood like you're a Christmas tree? Just freaking strap you down with the cranks? Are you good to go, Dake? Yeah? I'm ready. Like, geez, these people. It's like the people that get upset when you can't get on a plane because you don't fit in the seat. No, like, what are you going to do? You're tilting the plane to the right. The thing's not going to take off. A video of an interaction between the woman whose real name is it Deja Dawa Blanding, went viral on social media, where she said her and the Lyft driver are heard arguing as he explains that he won't be able to accommodate her in his vehicle. I can fit in this car. Oh, dude. I can do it. It's like somebody at Disneyland just begging the ride operator, I can fit, I can get in. It's like, ma'am, it doesn't even go around your head. Believe me, you can't. Please, I haven't scrolled down. Lord, if you're listening to this, please let us have the video. One moment. One moment. Let's see. Sometimes the Lord blesses us. Oh boy. Here we go.
Got more space at my car is small.
I can fit in this car.
No, believe me, you can.
Yes, I can.
Believe me. So, I'm sorry.
What am I doing with my money?
I'm gonna cancel it. You're not gonna be charged.
So you telling me I can't get in the lift because I can't fit in your car?
Yeah, you need to order a bigger car.
What make you think I can't fit in a car?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What makes you think I can't fit in this car?
Because the car is small in the back.
My best friend has a Benz that's newer than this that I can fit in. That's the same size.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't.
So you really telling me I'm too big to get in your car? So I gotta order another lift.
Yeah. And to be more specific with you, I got very tired tires.
What I got to do with your tires?
Yeah, and you have no space.
How you know I don't have no space?
Yeah, I got no space in the back.
How do you know I don't have no space?
Oh my God. I mean, now if you want to see what she looked like, you're like, Brad, can I see her? There you go. There you go, Shib. There you go, Pat. There you go, boys. Look. I can't believe that guy said that. Yo, there's no room in the back. I don't have the tire pressured. I just can't believe the tire pressure thing. My tires can't support you. Oh, it was all on camera. We were blessed. Well, the Lyft driver apologized and assured her that she would not be charged for the service. He also said she could try ordering a larger sized vehicle. And, you know, we got some Ford F-150s that might be available to throw you in the back of. Oh my God. It just, yeah. Wow. Just wow. Exactly, Candy. Yep. So she's suing them now, just like they sued the airlines because you couldn't take up 2 seats. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Speaking of something that's unbelievable, remember how I've always said, if you suck at your job, you get elevated to the highest levels of office? Do you want to know who really sucked at their job? Was Pete Buttigieg. Well, Pete Booty is trying to possibly run for U.S. Senate. The guy was known to suck at his job as Secretary of Transportation. And Democrats know that if you do a horrible job, well, that's grounds for you to get a promotion. Oh, what was that? Can you give us an example? Yeah, Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah, she sucked at her job and she got a promotion. Actual promotion. Who else? Joe Biden. Joe Biden sucked as a senator. He sucked as a vice president. And he sucked as president. Well, that's only 2. Can you name more? Sure. Kamala Harris. She sucked as the Attorney General of California. She sucked as her job in Congress. And she sucked as her job as vice president. And she sucked at the campaign trail. And she sucked to get her way to the top. Somebody had to say it. I know you're all thinking it. Former president. If you're wondering why I'm drinking Gatorade, I'm actually extremely sick, believe it or not. I am not. I'm so sick. But the show must go on. Former Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, is reportedly considering running for U.S. Senate in Michigan after Gary Peters announced he would not run for re-election in 2026. Buttigieg, who moved to Michigan around 2 years ago, was being floated as a potential candidate for Michigan governor in 2026. So Michigan's already been driven into the ground. Place is a dumpster, and I'm sorry if you live in Michigan, but you know I live in California and I call it a dumpster too. This is a very good possibility that this guy will be elected because they love living in dumpsters. Was being floated as a potential candidate for Michigan. Can you imagine this dude was floated as being a governor? Folks, there's a train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, and he had to be begged to go. Never cleaned it up, really, by the way. Just complete hazard. There's train derailments left and right over the country. The guy can't even do anything. Can't even build a road correctly. But no, let's put him as governor so he drives your state into the ground. No, that's great. No, that's perfect. Guy sucks. But after Peters announced that he is stepping down, Buttigieg is like, oh, wait a minute. No. I don't have to be governor. I could be something better and higher and have more access. I'm going to be a senator. Jesus, dude. So If you're in Michigan, good luck with that one. That's going to suck. My state is communist. Are you in Michigan? Because if you are, look, again, I'm in California, man. I get that if you're a Republican and you're living in a Democrat-ran state, bless your heart. Just bless your kind little heart, because it is rough out here. It is rough. Let's get into a little bit of Scott Jennings news. Oop, I hit the mic, sorry. Scott Jennings, schools CNN panel over response to criminal alien deportations. Now, Scott has been just slapping these panelists around. I don't even know why they still show up to work when Scott's there, because they're just getting slaughtered. I don't think there's been a time where he hasn't won. It's basically the panel is like Joe Biden's. The panel is Joe Biden. Scott Jennings, the teleprompter. The teleprompter went undefeated for 4 years, and well, it looks like Scott's going to be undefeated once again here, going against CNN panel, and there's a lot of them. I wonder if this is the lady from the lift.
Oh, Trump is not going to do that.
They didn't believe it.
They
didn't believe it.
They didn't believe it. I have them on tape. I have them on tape.
I know. You have all the anecdotes. The assertion that all American voters did not know exactly what Donald Trump is going to do. Oh, they didn't think it is totally false. There was mass amount of polling during the campaign. Hispanic Americans supported deportations in majority. You and I debated this many times. Yep. You claimed it wasn't true. And then what they do? They went and voted for Donald Trump.
And now,
the election results are clear. There is no buyer's remorse. The people who followed our laws and came here legally are more than happy to see the laws.
But here's what's being missed. I think this is very critical. In a vacuum, yes, majority of Americans do support mass deportation, Scott. But you have seen this also in polls. When you start telling them what that means,
illegals
right?
Leaving, they support it.
No.
They support that.
Yes, they support the criminals. Let me finish. When you start telling them what that means, dreamers, veterans, teachers,
their
first
family,
responders, their family, then they say, you know what? These are people that have been here for 30 years. They have contributed trillions of dollars to our economy. I prefer to give them a pathway to citizenship. So you know what this all...
They've contributed trillions of dollars to our economy. You've been here for 30 years. So you spent 30 years siphoning from our system and still have not became a citizen? Does anybody else think there's something wrong here? I was reading comments, by the way, not on this video, but of people talking about this very same thing. You know what they were saying? Well, it's expensive to become a citizen. So you just get to sit here and siphon off our system for 30 years while somebody else is back home in their country doing the right thing to save up and come here the right way? How is that right? I'm so tired of people making rational reasons as to why it's fair that somebody gets to do a criminal act versus somebody that's trying to follow the law. And we should be catering to the person that's committing the criminal act over the person that's actually following the law. It's so often with Democrats. They always go, well, can you give us an example? Because they're not able to actually make examples for themselves. They can't do anything themselves. That's why they rely on the government for everything. And that's why they want bigger government. So I'll give them an example. How about you always going after law-abiding citizens that are Second Amendment advocates? They're firearm holders. Why is it always going after those that follow the law, that have a firearm? So you're going to chisel away and infringe on their right to bear arms, but you're not going to go after the criminals and limit their access to guns. So God forbid that we actually follow the law here and we're the ones penalized. I'll give you another example, and it'll be in the form of an analogy because, again, Democrats aren't able to actually make this link and connection on their own. Let's say you have two kids in your house. One kid follows the rules and the other kid's just a little jerk and wanted to not follow the rules and did something he wasn't supposed to do. Let's say he broke something. And rather than going and grilling and punishing the kid that actually broke something and for being a little jerk and not doing what he was supposed to do, you go punish the good kid that actually follows the rules. And so then you wonder why the bad kid continues to do bad things and continues to ruin your house and wreak havoc across, the family, because you're honestly always going after the kid that's doing the good thing. Case in point, Democrats are always going after the good guys and never going after the bad guys. They want to harbor the bad guys in their area. I think my analogy, my point, my actual example came across really clear. Let me know what you think about that one in the chat, but it's true. It's as true as it gets. I'm telling you, it's not even an anecdote. It's just fact. It's fact, baby. We did get an answer, by the way, a little bit of a slight deviation away from immigration for a second. We did get an answer here about the drones. And I don't know what to make of it. She went over it very fast during yesterday's White House press briefing. And I'll tell you why I find it a little bit odd in her answer. And look, I'm glad that we're getting an answer, but once she's done talking, we'll kind of elaborate on this.
An update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that,
see, it was fast. I mean, people have been, remember how it was all over the news, right? It's huge stuff. Here's what I find odd, and maybe I'm giving too much credit to Joe on this. If it was really just research, people with their FAA license flying these drones around, and then people became curious and getting their own drones and flying their own drones around to see if they can catch another drone. And if it's not an enemy, why was it under wraps for so long? Hand to God, if Joe came out and was like, yeah, like early on, you would know what these are early on, right? Yeah, they're just a bunch of research stuff. We do have FAA coming out and just hobbyists, which partially they did say. But the problem was they took so long to come out with it that we weren't actually knowing if it was true or not. And we're also hearing that it was coming from the Chinese or the Iranians right off the coast there. I want to believe her, and I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here because I don't have enough information on how she acts yet and if she's lied to me yet. I have to take what she says as truth so far. But the moment she lies to me, I'm really going to start speculating a little bit more. But I don't know. Do you guys believe her? Do you think it's just hobbyists? Do you think it's just researchers? And if there is researchers, what are they researching? The more you can be specific, the better. But the part that kind of worried me a little bit was she said that it was research and kind of another area that she can't talk about, which tells me it's our own craft, probably our own military flying over looking for something. That's going to be my guess. Disappointed. It sounded like a cover up on drones. It did sound a little bit like a cover up, right? It did sound like there was something going on. And we know it's not an enemy, so it's us. But I don't know. I'm not fully on board with her answer. Let me just say that. And I think that's fair to say as somebody that likes Karoline, that loves Trump, going, I would like a little bit more on that. I really would. We got Tom Homan reacting to Selena Gomez here, so we're back with the immigration stuff. I don't want it just to be all immigration and all White House press briefing, so I'm trying to chop it up for y'all and come back and sucker back like Jen Psaki. Well, Tom Homan talked about Selena Gomez, and if you recall, Selena Gomez, we covered it yesterday, was like hysterically crying on camera, going, "My people are being deported. I wish I could help you." You have like hundreds of millions of dollars. What are you talking about? You could sponsor a family. You could take a family in. Hell, you could take them out of the hotel rooms that they're pulling veterans out of and replacing them with illegal immigrants. You can actually go and house those people if you would like. You don't want to do anything. It's all hysteria. It's all a narrative. It's all to try to pull at the heartstrings of American citizens and go, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe this is a little bit too rough. Maybe this is a little bit too harsh. You want to know what's a little bit too harsh and rough? Allowing terrorists to come into your country and try to kill people. Allowing murderers to come in and actually murder somebody's kid or family member. That's a pretty harsh thing to do too. And you got to love it. She's going, they're taking my people. No, if you're an American, they're not deporting Americans. It's not your people. So it just shows you where people's allegiance stands. And when we do that Pledge of Allegiance, nobody actually does it anymore, which makes sense why she's like that. So here's Tom Homan commenting on that whole bit. We have it right here.
Had a chance to see a video that has been going viral over the past hour or so. We're still working to clear it and show it. In fact, the Hollywood celebrity who posted it has now deleted it, I think because probably she faced a lot of backlash for it, noting even the New York Times and Fox News polls show that a majority of American respondents are in favor of deportations of criminals and gang members. She posted a video sobbing. She was crying in it. She said, "All my people are getting attacked," with the picture of a Mexican flag. Again, she has now taken that down. But what do you say to those who are out there saying that these are everyday people, these are families that are being attacked and dragged out of their homes. How do you respond to that?
I don't think we arrested any families. We've arrested public safety threats and national security threats, bottom line. And look, President Trump won the election on this one issue, securing our border and saving lives. What happened on our southern border last 4 years is the biggest national security threat this country's seen, at least in my lifetime, because we got over 2 million known gotaways. We got a 600% increase in sex trafficking. We got a record number of terrorists crossing the border on the terrorist watch list. We have 250,000 Americans die from fentanyl coming across the open border. We're going to do this job, and we're going to enforce the laws of this country. If they don't like it, then go to Congress and change the law. We're going to do this operational apology. We're going to make our community safer. We're going to save. Once we lock that border on continuous operation, you're going to see fentanyl deaths decrease, illegal alien crime decrease, sex trafficking decrease. It's just all for the good of this nation, and we're going to keep going. No apologies. We're moving forward.
You want to know a part of it, too, is we don't show people, we don't show Americans the actual atrocities that are being committed by these people. You know, they always go, oh, okay, just a heads up, it's going to be graphic content, but we're going to blur it out. Sometimes you need to show people somebody getting slaughtered by an illegal alien. Sometimes you need to show the heinous crimes that are being committed by these people because they have to see it for themselves. And American citizens, for the most part, are extremely sheltered. And they think that it's just some dude with a family of 4 that's been here for 19 years, that's been doing whatever job to get by, that is an avid American, like he loves the American values, even though he's an illegal alien. Like they think that that's the type of person we're deporting, right? The cliche, sit at the dinner table with your family. The guy's illegal. 4 kids are in the school system getting straight A's. They're going to be all doctors. Those are the people they think that we're deporting, not these guys that are raping our women and our children and sometimes men, murdering families, killing people, committing robbery, arson, all these things. And it's mind-blowing to me that you have people this stupid, like Selena Gomez, like her as an actress, don't like her ideas and her values, going, oh, these people are so far gone. It's not fair. Why don't you tear that? I'm a cuss in a moment, so if you got kids in the car, mute me. Why don't you ask Laken Riley's family that, bitch? Why don't you ask her family about that? Why don't you go talk to the families who were devastated because Joe Biden and your stupid ass party allowed illegal aliens into this country and committed heinous crimes? Why don't you go talk to them, Selena? But no, you want to cry on camera, make hysteria about this whole thing as if we're just deporting people that are, just simple average Joe illegal aliens that haven't honestly committed an actual crime other than coming here illegally. That's not really happening. They say it will because they want to push this whole narrative, but they're getting rid of the criminals. I want the criminals out of here because I want to keep everybody safe. And you know what? You removing the criminal illegal aliens, honestly, is actually even keeping the illegal aliens that have been here for 30 years safe. It gets tiring when you got to explain things in like detail because some people are so stupid. Speaking of Tom Homan here, he's back and he's slapping Caitlin Collins around. I've been waiting for this one. So Caitlin Collins is the new White House press secretary. You saw her in the briefing. Again, if you didn't see our briefing that we covered last night, we did go live last night. Obviously, we were live yesterday morning, but we did go live in the evening for the White House press briefing for the first one. We had to be there. And Tom Homan shut down CNN's Caitlin Collins during an interview on Monday night about the Trump administration's mass deportation operation. And of course, we got the clip. We always bring the receipts, baby, when we can, when we have it queued up.
Heard from immigration advocates is that this is going to provide a chilling effect to parents in the school drop-off line or something of that matter.
It shouldn't be a chilling effect unless their child is a terrorist or a public safety threat. If they are a public safety threat and national security threat, they should be chilled. They should be afraid because we're looking for them.
Well, if their parent is here and they're an undocumented immigrant, I think was more of the argument that they were making.
They're not off the table either. I mean, they're in the country illegally, they got a problem. I mean, it's not okay. Look, it's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I wouldn't feel comfortable if I'm in Switzerland illegally. So we're going to enforce the laws of this country. So, you know, the schools and the churches and essential location was a policy only for ICE, only for immigration, right? But national security threats and public safety threats have no safe haven in this country, and we'll go where we got to go.
What we had heard from immigration.
Isn't it insane that as a culture, we're basically trying to promulgate criminal behavior? Like we're trying to say that that's okay. And you really do see this from the Democrat side of things, mostly in their cities. They'll say to your face, we don't like crime. We don't like violent criminals and all this stuff. You'll hear them say those things, but their actions speak otherwise. Case in point, the border's secure. 10 million people pour across. Everything's fine. I'm here to protect the American people. People like Lake and Riley get murdered. People like this individual get raped. Family of 4 gets slaughtered. Drugs, fentanyl pouring across kills 250,000 Americans. And what do you have? You have Democrats, you have other Americans that are rationalizing this stuff, saying it's okay for somebody to commit a crime. It's okay for them to be here. I've always said, do you want to solve this solution really quick? Obviously, the case of what Tom Homan is doing. But if you really want to put people's money where their mouth is, and if they want to allow these people to stay here, I do think check off, put a Republican, put the party system on the tax form, the federal tax form, and the state, by the way. Check off if you're Democrat or Republican, and based on that check mark is going to dictate your tax rate. Because if it's you wanting to support these people, then you can go ahead and support them. I don't want to. And I think you should be charged an extra fee at the end of your tax return to pay for all this stuff. I guarantee you, they won't do it. Do a penalty of $1,000 or something at the end of the return. Just offset it. Why not? It's an easy move that you could do. You could literally just have a checkbox saying, do you want to support an illegal immigrant? It'll be $500, $1,000. Let's see if Americans do it. Let's see if they take out that wallet and want to pay for it. I guarantee you they won't do it. If you asked me, I'll put my money where my mouth is. If you put on that tax form a border wall, I would check it off. I'd pay for it. I'll put my money where my mouth is. I would take my money that I do on all my other jobs, and I would make sure I work extra hours just so that thing gets built. I'll put my money where my mouth is. They won't. Because I actually believe in my values. See, the thing is that the left forgets, and I think a lot of the patriots forget, is by me doing this podcast, I put my whole career on the line. People forget that. People forget that me doing this show and me vocalizing the things I'm covering can get me let go. People forget that. Because I believe in the values. I believe in free speech. I believe in the right that somebody should have the right to say what they want, regardless of whether they go to work or not. I think somebody should have a right to have common sense values of what we have as this country. And I think I say things that we can all get behind. I think we can all get behind the fact that, hey, criminal behavior is bad. You shouldn't go kill people. You shouldn't murder. You shouldn't steal. The obvious. And if you do those things and you're here illegally, you should be deported. And if you're here as an American doing those things, you should have a fine, penalty, or jail time. We all have to follow the law here. And I don't understand why all of a sudden it's crazy for me to say these types of things. Why? Could somebody tell me why it's anybody in the chat? Because I'm being told that I'm a little far gone in the sense of how could you say those types of things is what I'm being told. Why is it that when I say, if you murdered somebody or you're a cartel member, a violent gang member, all these things that are extremely heinous, you killed somebody, you raped somebody, you're doing this or that, you're selling people off into forced labor and you're a legal alien, that you should be deported. Why is that a crazy thing to say? And somehow I live in a blue state. I am told I am crazy. I'm not kidding. You could lose your job in this state for saying what I just said. Hand to God, if I had a Bible in my room, it's in the other room, I would put my hand on it. For saying what I just said, you can be let go in the state of California. For saying that you want a criminal that's an illegal alien that murdered a family or raped a child, a 9-year-old, to be deported. You can actually lose your job for that. I shit you not. So just so you know, you guys, I'm not beholden to a corporation. There's no investors other than the patriots that become members in the show. I say what I think. I say what I want to do. And but I also put my ass on the line for all of it. So I always appreciate you guys coming in hot. Thank you so much for taking care of me. Thank you to everybody who became a member. Travis Cobb, I know who you are. You gifted subs not too long ago. Travis Cobb, $2. I'm not paying for the legal aliens, but I'll pay for some Bald Brad awesomeness. Thank you, man. Hell yeah. BB for White House. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. You could always send emails or YouTube. If you guys, you can remember, you have just as much power as everybody else does. If you want to see me in that room, you can help me by just going over to X, this website here. And, you can tag Karoline Leavitt here, like I did right here. As someone who covers almost all the White House press briefings, I give PressSec an A+. You guys can have a movement. If you go into other people's shows like Q did, Q 1969 was on somebody else's show, like in the chat, was like, hey, you should check out Bald Brad. If we do those types of things, we can have a massive movement here. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that joins us every single morning. You guys, you make it fun. And I always say, it's not you hanging out with me. I get to hang out with all of you. I keep saying that, and I will keep saying that because you guys are fun. And thank you for being fun. And thank you for listening to me scream into the mic every morning. Anywho, my voice is actually cutting out. I'm out of Gatorade. I got to get another one. And we'll be back here maybe this evening. We'll see what the hell happens. We have a schedule, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But anything beyond that, we don't. We might just go live at random times because I don't know what the hell Trump's agenda is here. He randomly does rallies. He randomly does gaggles and speaking engagements. He randomly has the press in the Oval Office. So I got to keep on top of what the hell this guy's doing. And I love every minute of it, folks. Well, have a blessed day. Take care of one another. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. And pray for the safety of both Democrats and Republicans. And pray that we actually get our head on straight here over the next 4 years. And we could turn this ship around, baby. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, see, Lulu's. I knew it. I knew somebody was going to come out. Lulu with the $2. Doge already saving us $50 million out of the gate. Now, some people don't know what I'm talking about. You got to watch the show. Karoline talked about, the White House press secretary talked about that we're spending $50 million, or we're going to, on condoms being sent to Gaza. So thank you so much, Lulu, for that. And yes, Doge is saving us right now. All right, folks, I got to get out of here. I got to get to work. Take care of one another. I'll see you tomorrow here on The Bald Brad Show. Take care, Patriots.